Okay, let's see. I am so technology challenged. I cannot figure out how to go live from the scheduled live that I had put up here. So I'm going to start this new stream and hope that we can figure it out. And maybe the couple of you that were waiting over there will see this and pop over. So I will just wait for a few moments as I try to figure all this out. I do have some. Oh, hi, Casey. Boots and Bounty Homestead. Can you hear me, Casey? I had a microphone here, but it was not hooking up, and I just don't know if it was working. Hi, Lisa. Thanks for popping in. No worries. Okay, awesome, Casey. You can hear me. Cool. It is a little bit windy today, so I'm hoping that it won't be too much of an issue with sound. I'm kind of a mumbler, so I'm going to try to be really clear. And again, I was trying to get my little Bluetooth speaker microphone thing to work, but again, I'm technology challenged, so we're just gonna roll with this. So I'm just gonna wait a few minutes and just give a little bit of an overview of like our garden and see if anyone else is gonna pop in initially, and then I'll just kind of walk around and show you what is going on. So Kowalski Mountain, hi Rem. Oh, this is so fun. Thank you guys for popping in. This is really cool. So we have been gardening for 8 years. This is our, let's see, we moved to this property in 2019, and 2020 was our first year gardening in this property here in Minnesota. So we did have a different place that we rented, that we started a small garden at prior to this, and kind of got some things underway. So I had initially started kind of the first garden that we had, and was kind of more in charge of it, and then my husband took over. For the most part, he's really good at like garden planning and like spacing and all that kind of stuff. This year I was more in control of the garden again, and you'll be able to see that I have spacing issues. I really put things close together. I have like this fear that it's not going to fill in, and so I end up like putting it really close together. And so there's some areas that are a little crowded. There's definitely some areas where there could be some cross-pollination. I'm very aware of that, but again, I just got a little carried away. Sometimes time gets the best of us, and I just kind of throw things in because I get anxious that it's not going to get in. And so some of the planning isn't super great, but usually if there's something that works well, it's probably because my husband suggested it, because he's really good at learning and implementing like intercropping and companion planting and that kind of stuff. And also, this is our first year. It definitely is so much fun, Casey. It's fun to experiment too, because this is my first year doing some cut flowers added in. So usually in the past we've just done, for the most part, like vegetables. We have done some fruit, like this year we have, or the last couple of years we've had some raspberries, and this year they really kind of blew up. It was insane. We have some fruit trees, stuff like that, but for the most part it's been just vegetables. And so this year adding in the flowers has been a learning curve for me as well. Obviously we want to bring in the beneficial pollinators, and so that's always bonus, as well as the beauty of cut flowers and just flowers in general. But yeah, oh, my mom's here. Hi, Mama. So yeah, adding in the flowers has been a learning curve, because I don't know how some of them grow, and some of them fill in really well, and some of them have taken a while to really become established, and so they seem like they're going to be really little, and then so it's a learning curve. So I'll walk around, I'll show you how I have those intertwined in this year. Next year I do plan on having an entirely separate space for the cut flowers, and my husband has some ideas on what that can look like. We do currently have it being, we just have some plastic down to kind of prep it for next year, so we can kill off the grass and stuff and just make it easier to prevent weeds next year when I get that spot planted. So anyway, so we have a few people in here, and I think I'll just go ahead and I'll jump over to, well, I'm across the garden right now. I'll go into like our front entry area, which is actually not the entrance we use a lot. It's like our pretty entrance, but it's often blocked off because we have chickens that jump the gate, and yeah, it's just, we're gonna start over there because I think that that would be a good starting place. So we're just going to walk over there. I will pick you up. I could not figure out how to flip this so it's not vertical. It just kept telling me to flip it vertical. So we're just gonna go with that. So as we go over there, again, you're gonna see some of the stuff behind me, but don't cheat. You don't know what any of that is. Okay, I'm gonna turn you around. So I'm gonna figure out how to do that so that you can actually see what I'm looking at. So how do I do that? Okay, maybe not. I'll just hold you up. Again, you have to start the live sideways when you, I did. I don't know why it didn't work. I don't know, Casey. This is my first one. We're just gonna roll with the vertical. Camera flip button twice. I don't even know where the camera flip button is. Oh, wait. What's this? Oh, look at that. Well, here, you're so smart. All right, so we're gonna go vertical here. So this is the entry that I was talking about where we have it blocked off right now. This is not cute. But we had chickens that were jumping over the fence because if chickens can see the top of the fence, which they can here, they will jump over it and just be super naughty. And so we have this kind of blocked off. So we don't often use this right now. We do need to come up with a setup here to keep them out and to kind of deter them. But this has worked really well. But we have this really nice archway here, the cattle panel trellis. Love trellising. Ignore the long grass. So our garden is not one of those gardens that's like always very nicely tidy. It's just, we're busy, and so someday it will be like that, but right now we got some grass. So I have a few different things on this trellis right now. So this clematis right here, which is past bloom at this point, I put this in a few years ago and it was so full of blooms this year. It was gorgeous, and it had these like, well, this one's a little funky, but it had these like purple, I don't know, it's like a fuchsia clematis, and it was just so beautiful. But the nice thing about that is it's perennial. Each year it's going to just really fill in this space more and more. And again, anything beautiful, I'm all about it. Flowers are my jam. These are a scarlet runner bean. First time growing these. The little beans are coming in here. We have just these really cool little flowers. I just love them. Growing beans is really fun to me because of the way that they wrap themselves around, like trellising or whatever you have them on. They're just such a cool thing to grow. I don't know. So I have a couple different beans on here. So these are the scarlet runners. I've never grown them. I don't know what they look like at full maturity, but here we have a decent one. So far it just looks like a green bean, but we'll see as they mature what those look like. Over here I have, these are a Chinese like noodle, like long noodle bean. This one is like a little bit overgrown now, but look at how long this thing is. This is insane. So these are actually, Katie from Mayfield Ranch sent these to me, as well as some other things that I have growing here. And I just tried one of them. So this is just one plant here, and it is kind of spiraling up the trellis here. And yeah, these are so cool. And they're pretty basic on their taste, like they're nothing crazy. I've just eaten them raw out here. I haven't cooked with them yet, but they're just so neat. Like, I'm excited to see these just hanging from the trellis. How cool is that? I have some gladiolas here. So I have gladiolas spread out throughout the whole garden. Those were one of the cut flower varieties that I was growing this year. So they start as a corm, so like a small, like little bulb. And these got a little bit like knocked over by, I'm not sure if it was wind or some heavy rain or whatnot. So they're growing in kind of funky directions, but I do have some left in here that have survived. And I'm excited for those to kind of fill in and start to get beautiful. Over here, there's my handsome hubby. He has no idea I'm filling here right now. So here is some bachelor buttons. I've never grown these either. They're just a really gorgeous little like royal blue, purple flower. These are great cut flowers. I grew these specifically for the idea of creating, you know, the bouquet with cut flower gardening, and these are really nice little additions. It's kind of hard to find like a really nice blue or purple flower. I've been told that these were easy to grow, and they really were. And so, yeah, and they seem like they have really nice long stems, which is something that I was for sure looking for in a cut flower. These right next to it, these are bells of Ireland. This is not what they, so when they're full maturity, I have not seen that yet in person. I've only seen it in other, cut flower videos and such. So these will have like, I don't even know how to describe it, like a bunch of little green bells like on like a heavy stalk. If you haven't seen them, look them up. They're really interesting. And again, they're supposed to be great for cut flowers. Only 2 of them came up, so the germination rate was really low on these, but it is a fun experiment. So I was going to look at the chat here real quick. Yay. Oh, Acres of Adventure, Tom and Chelsea, you guys popping in, thank you. My mama's in here still. Thanks, Mama, for staying. Yes, everything has really filled in, and the garden boxes are for sure super nice, not to bend down super like low to the ground all the time. Yeah, these tall ones are nice. These are the first boxes that Cade built, and these actually, they're falling apart now. They're old. These are from like one of the first couple years that we gardened, and so they've came from the other property, traveled here, so they're breaking down a little bit, but he's since improved his design even more, and they're even more sturdy. And so all these boxes that he makes, just kind of bordering the edge here. And here we still have sweet peas, and they are somehow still like doing their thing. Usually sweet peas will die off by now, but they are still producing. And these have been delicious, and it's been super great. Having, like, when Aspen's out here, this is a great little snack to give her. she's so funny with the garden. She loves her little garden snacks. She'll eat the peas, and she'll eat tomatoes, and she'll eat the cucumbers, and she's just all about it. So yeah, the peas in here. I do have some tomatoes in here. I did not plant these are volunteers. These are a cherry tomato. These were volunteer from last year, maybe even the year before. They just kind of keep carrying over. So I let a few of them stay in here. Although they are getting a little bushy. Cherry tomatoes are indeterminate, so they're just going to keep growing and growing. I have pruned them a little bit at the bottom just so we have some nice airflow happening. But for the most part, they're just kind of going wild, and we're just going to roll with it. But we have a ton of fruit setting on there. And I love cherry tomatoes. It's fun to just pop those in your mouth as you're out here working in the garden. My idea with this little like trellis area, if you can see it, it's pretty covered with the peas on this side and the tomatoes on that side, is I wanted to create a shade for the lettuce. So I have kale here, which is okay in the sun, but let's see if I have a bunch of shadows. If you can see, I'll go on the other side. I wanted to create a space that the lettuce would actually grow and not just bolt super quick. So this is butter crunch lettuce, and it is starting to bolt now. The flower is not formed, but we're coming down to the last day or two that we can harvest off of these ones. But they have been great. So my plan here really did work super well. It created a nice shaded area to prevent these from getting too hot and from bolting. And so, yes, love volunteers. Volunteers are the best. Although, when they come up in strange places, you have that like hard decision of, should I leave you or pull you or move you or whatever it is. So, all right, bye, Casey. Thanks for stopping in. So there's that. I did have some spinach here too. It was really old seeds, and so only a few germinated, but I let this one go to seed, and so it's all crusted up now. And we have a bunch of seeds over here that are drying out. This was a long-standing like Bloomsdale spinach, I think it was called. And it really is a slow to bolt variety. And so that is why I wanted to, again, there were old seeds, so not all of them germinated, but I thought if I let this one just go to seed, I can create, a whole new packet of these seeds, since I like that variety so much. We have lemongrass over here. And I've never grown or used lemongrass except for lemongrass essential oil, which is by far my favorite. I love the smell of lemongrass. So I have not done anything with these. except break them off and smell them. So I would love to create like essential oil or something, or I don't know, if you have ideas, let me know. I'd like to know what to do with that. A celery, the one lone celery that survived. I started celery indoors and thanks Mom, I'm so smart. Is that about the seeds maybe? I started celery indoors. Only one of them did well. Transplanted it out. There was a couple other little ones. I mean, I put them in, they died right away. I reseeded celery and they didn't take. And so this is just the lone celery that we're just going to roll with for this year. Celery takes forever to mature, I've found. I mean, maybe it's the variety that we have, but I mean, these are still really, really thin. And I started these indoors and it's, you know, early August, so who knows. Have some carrots here. This is one of the spots we have carrots. They are definitely, like, a few of them are ready to harvest. I wonder if I could pull this out without breaking it. Oh, kind of scared to do it one-handed while holding the phone here. Let's see if I can do it without snapping it. Oh. Let's see if I can get it. Hold on, I'm going to read this. Might have missed it, but do you grow anything for any of your animals? We grow, I have not gotten there yet. We grow sunflowers, and so for the seeds, so we can give that to them. They get like a ton of stuff. So like our sheep, they'll get like carrot tops, they'll get any celery that's gonna go, they'll get like kale scraps. Our sheep get a lot of scraps. The chickens, we toss them things all the time. So as far as growing things specifically for them, which you can see a few of them over there. I'm trying to think. Not really. I mean, they get a ton of zucchini and stuff like that, but yeah. So, okay, Mom, about the shaded technique for your lettuce. Yeah, it actually worked really well. So I'm really happy with that. So, okay, I'm going to try this again. Okay, I really want to get it and see. It looks a little green on the top, though. I don't know. But it's so thick. There we go. Oh, look at that. Oh, that's a beauty. Look at that. That's a good one. It came out really nice. I have actually found that growing carrots in a raised bed, because the dirt is much looser. It does seem to come out easier without snapping them. So if you just get like a little wiggle, yay! Look at, we're getting some. I see my foot there. So I'll have to come back and harvest some of these carrots later, or at least grab them, I should say. And yay! How fun is that? I love it. That's better than the carrots we grew. So I don't know if it's Tom or Chelsea in here, but wait, hold on. Acres, Adventures of Outdoor Eagle. Oh, yeah. Farm animals, they're so funny. The carrots you grew. Yeah, okay, so Tom and Chelsea, I saw like one of your carrots and it was like intertwined with each other and it was really cute actually. It looked like they were like hugging or dancing or something. It was adorable. But yeah, if you come over, be a farm animal, I'll toss you all kinds of scraps. So this here is basically a wall of rattlesnake beans. These are amazing producers every single year, and we save seeds from these because they are such great producers. And they are super like heat tolerant. They're great. So they were growing really crazy up here. And so I knew that they were going to do that. I don't know why I didn't do this sooner, but I did just add this little trellis so that they could connect the fencing over here. Because they will, I mean, they're intertwining like around each other, and this one's like straggling down. So there's that. But I mean, this thing is solid. Let's see if I can find one for you, because rattlesnake beans are really cool looking. Oh yeah, look at this. There's a whole group of them here. They have like a really cool design on them, and they taste really good. Like they don't have like a weird bitter taste. And especially if you get them young like this is a really great size to harvest. And the blooms are just super pretty, nice and purple. Yes, okay, it's Tom. Hi, Tom. Yeah, so they're really great. They're really fun. Again, heavy producers. Tom, I can totally send you and Chelsea some of these. They would do really great in Michigan. We actually buy our seeds from Michigan, from Annie's Heirloom. So these actually originally are heirloom seeds from Michigan. So we could send you guys some if you want some. So just let me know. How long do they grow? Like the beans themselves? Let's see. Where's it? Is it a string bean? I guess, would this be considered a string bean? I guess I don't really know. I'm not 100% sure on that. I don't know how long the biggest one would grow, but this, I mean, this is a solid, this is probably, I mean, that's the size of my hand. How tall is my hand? 5 inches? So, I mean, that's a really good size right there. If you do let it get bigger, they do get kind of woody, and then you want to just let it go to seed. So I would say that that's a good size. Probably like 4 or 5 inches is a really great harvest size. So, but yeah, so there's those, as I'm tripping over them here. Again, like I said in the beginning, if you remember, okay, so they're ready to pick now, just curious. Yes, a lot of them are ready to pick now, but there's so many flowers still on here. And so this is going to produce for a long time. So Mom, come pick some beans. You can have some, because there's going to be a lot. I did have some beets under here. I harvested some of these before this got crazy, and then they got shaded out. There's a few stragglers still in there. I don't know if you can see, just a little beet in there. I'm the only one that eats beets, so I figured I'd just let it be in there until I was ready to eat it. So yeah. Borage. This is the first borage that I did, so this one is kind of like a little sad and on its way out. But I do have more over here, and this sucker is huge. That is only 2 plants. I gotta show this to you. Okay, and the bees are obsessed with this. Okay, yes, I have some other things. I'll show you that in a second, but this right here, this is borage. So this is a pollinator dream heaven place. Like, these bees are obsessed with this plant. I am seriously, like, I'm blown away at how many bees I see in here all the time. Like, here's a little guy doing his thing. You see him there? Oh, they're so cute. One landed on me earlier and it freaked me out. I like to get close to them. I don't want them on me. These are also great cut flowers, surprisingly. And these little purple flowers, here, I'll show you those up close too. I gotta hold this different. These are really cool looking, little blue purple flowers. And those are the seeds. So these are heavy reseeders. So on the ground here, we have a ton of these. These are gonna be growing everywhere next year. I just anticipate it now. They're gonna be crazy. But they grow really easy and they're edible. They do have like a furry, it's kind of furry, I don't know, leaf, which I don't love. I'm not super interested in eating this. I did try it while it was young, and it has a cucumber flavor. I don't like this texture, so I won't be putting this in my salad, but you can eat it. And people like it. Yes, beets are super good. I actually used to hate beets because I thought they tasted like dirt. And then my sister-in-law gave me some, like a salad, and it had beets and like goat cheese in it, and it was like the most amazing thing ever, and I've forever been changed on my thought of beets. So this is a red garnet amaranth, which is technically a wheat, but I'm growing it as a cut flower. I do have one over there that is bloomed, and it's really, really neat. I'll show it to you. I just tossed this in. Something else didn't germinate here, and so I put this in instead, which is why it's just buried in there, but it works. These gorgeous flowers are cosmos. I've never grown cosmos, so this is one of the flowers that I had no idea how like full they get. So I have 2 different varieties here. These are the Dazzler cosmos. Here's one that's just opening. I have no idea if the color is going to come through really well in this, but these are like stunning. The color is such a vibrant, like fuchsia, reddish, like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's vibrant, it's amazing. They're called the Dazzler, and they dazzle me. They really do. I love them. They don't have a great vase life. but I think that's just cosmos in general, is what I have learned and read. So, but they're gorgeous. And these right here, so they have a little bit different foliage. So these are the Dazzler. They're a little more fine on their foliage. These are Bright Lights, another Cosmo, but they have like just kind of a heavier foliage, if you can see the difference there. So I have not seen these bloom yet. These are going to be probably like an orangish yellow, I believe. And so those should be really pretty too. So on the other side of this bed, we have, these are calendula, heavily medicinal. Many people grow calendula as cut flowers. I've grown them for a few years. I have made some like calendula salves, or not salves. I've just made like a infused oil, I guess is what you want to call it. So I've just taken like olive oil and infused it with dried calendula. And I used it as a baby oil, like for Aspen's, like any kind of like diaper rash or anything like that. And I'm not joking, that stuff was amazing. I did try to use it on, one of our dogs had an ear infection, and I did try to use it for that. It's hit or miss on if it helped or not, but it can be highly medicinal just depending on the situation. But they're super pretty. When you look up close, like this one is like a mixture of orange and yellow. Oh, I just love them. They're so pretty. And I love anything that has multiple purposes. So the fact that these are like highly medicinal is a winner for me. And these are really easy to seed save too. So like this one is spent here, so we can pull those off. So it's not mature yet, so these seeds are still green, but they're a very distinct shape. So when these dry out, like, I don't know if you can see that, but they are a very distinct, like crescent shape seed. Like you can't mistake it. And they are so easy to harvest and save. These are actually planted from saved seeds. This was not a new packet or anything. I just saved seeds from previous years and tossed in a bunch here, and there they are. This is a lone, you can barely see it. This is a cucumber in here. This is just I think it's is it a Boston pickling cuke? I don't recall which pickling cuke this is, because we have a bunch of picklers in a different box over there. This one was an old seed packet. I just tossed them in here because I knew that most of them would not germinate. One took, and I left it, and I gave it something to trellis on. Once it gets up a little bit higher, I'll probably connect that to the side fence here. Cucumbers don't like to be moved. They don't like the root system disturbed, and so I'm just going to leave it there rather than transplanting it somewhere else, and we'll just give it something to climb on. Okay, next in this bed over here, we have some dill, which has gone to flower, and these flower heads are massive. Look at how big this one is. So I grew dill for a couple reasons. It can be a great filler for cut flower arrangements. Also, obviously, if you make pickles, here's your friend. Parsley down here. I don't use a ton of parsley, to be honest with you, but it grows really easily, and I would like to dry some and just save it and make maybe my own like Italian seasoning with this. And I have some oregano up front, and what else is an Italian seasoning? Basil, parsley, oregano, maybe? I don't know. We'll figure it out. But something like that, a combo like that to just keep. Oh, and here's something really cool. If you can see this little guy. So this is he looks like a monarch, but he's actually green. And he is a black swallowtail caterpillar. And the reason you know that, and you can tell the difference between them and monarchs, is that they will only find dill. Like they only like dill. Like they love dill. Well, I mean, maybe they like something else, but I was told that once they find dill in your garden, they won't go anywhere else. They'll stay on your dill. So these guys, here's another little guy, they will stay here and they'll hang out. I hope they'll, do their chrysalis thing here. So we'll see. I'll let them be. They're happy little helpers. But here's something weird. I'm going to see if he'll do it. The other day I touched its head, and there was like these little like things that came out of its head. He won't do it now. It was like a little yellow thing that came out of its head, and it was kind of weird. I should look that up on Google and see what that is. wonder if this one will do it. It's like a defense mechanism. Ah! He just did it. Did you see that? I don't know if I want to do it again. Kind of creeps me out. Let's see. Do you see that? It's so weird. I don't know what that is. I gotta look it up. It's gotta be some kind of defense mechanism. But I'll leave you be, buddy. It's okay. Just do your thing. I had broccoli here. They died. So I had gotten some backup peppers from the store. These were totally a cheat. I bought these already started. I just put them in the other day, so they're not doing anything yet. But they're just kind of a basic, I think a bell pepper and like maybe an Anaheim. I don't remember what's what. But those are just a random thing that I tossed in to fill this space because the broccoli did not do well. More carrots over here, which, yeah, we definitely have carrots that are, again, ready to be harvested. So I'll come back through and I'll grab the carrots that are ready in here and the ones that were down there. And I'll probably start putting in, which I might be late on this game. I guess we'll find out. But I want to put in a few things for the fall garden. I did not put in like cabbage or what was the other thing I wanted to put in? I mean, I could put in more broccoli, but that didn't do super great this year. I wanted to do Brussels sprouts. I've never grown those, but I kind of just want to try it. So I might put a couple cabbage in there, maybe Brussels sprouts here. We'll see. We'll experiment whenever I have time, which is not a lot. So moving on, this little thing here is a dwarf tomato that I bought from a lady in town. It is producing really delicious little tomatoes. These are gorgeous, unblemished. It's very dwarf. I mean, this stem didn't really do much of anything, but it is producing. And then it's really crazy basil over here. It's a little wrinkly on top, but I'm going to harvest this one since it hasn't gotten to flower yet. And I'm going to make a pesto with this. And so I'll probably cut majority of this basil down. And then if you're not wondering what this is here, this is wool from our sheep. Wool is it's a really great mulch. It provides like a slow release of nitrogen over time. You don't want to till that into your dirt because it does not break down. Wool does not break down, but it will prevent, the soil from drying out. It'll prevent weeds from growing. It'll keep the soil moist as long as you water it, obviously. But it's just a really great mulch. I'm gonna eat this tomato. Oh my god. Oh my gosh, that's so good. It's so flavorful. Here's another tip. So if you harvest your tomatoes in the middle of the day, rather than like morning or night, the sugars are concentrated because of the heat of the sun, and they will be sweetest if you pick your tomatoes in the middle of the day. So there's that. I haven't looked at the chat in a while. Hi guys. Sorry. I'll have to go back and look at some of that later, but can you show me my tomato plant that I forgot to take home last time? Well, I probably planted it somewhere, Mom. There's there was a few that I just plugged in the ground. But you can come, and I do have one in a pot that I just pruned the other day from these ones right over here. And it will root. It's over there. It looks sad right now, but I'll fix it. It'll be pretty for you. I'm going to charge you rent by eating them. Oh, these are funny. I'm excited to go check on this chat later on. It's too hard to show you guys at the same time as reading it, so sorry I missed a lot of it. But I want to make sure I keep a flow so nobody gets bored. So here's peppers here. This is a variety of different peppers. Some of them started from seed. Some of them were a cheap bought from the store. But I'll kind of go through, and I don't remember what's what, so I'm going to look at the tag. This one was one my husband bought at the store. And it is like an extremely hot pepper. I want to say it's like a ghost pepper of some sort. Oh, here's the little cheat tag. A red ghost hot pepper. What the heck am I going to do with that? Probably just put it in salsa that only I will eat, because I'm the only one that eats hot things over here. So we're going to experiment with that one. It looks funny. This one fell the other day, and it has like a bumpy texture to it. And it's like, this one's really thin. I don't even know what they look like when they're mature. I mean, it shows red on there. I've actually read that all peppers will mature to red, even jalapenos, but we pick them green. So when you yeah, when you see red and green together, I mean, they're usually the same variety. It's just the red ones have fully ripened. So anyways, there's that. So yeah, so we have the jalapenos here, which I have a ton of jalapenos on this plant ready to go. Like this one is big. I like to make candied jalapenos. It is so easy and so delicious and a great way to preserve jalapenos. So yeah, so we have a bunch in there. I don't know which side is better for lighting. The peppers are upset. What a neglectful mother. Yeah. That's funny. So what do we got here? This is a bell pepper of sort. I think that's maybe the chocolate bell pepper. Here we have, okay, I've never grown these. Let me go back on the other side. You can see my shadow on this side. I don't like that. These are a Sugar Rush peach pepper. Never grown them. Katie at Mayfield Ranch, again, she sent me these from her garden. And these grow really neat. They kind of grow upward. And these should ripen to like a peachish color, I think. So right now we have a ton of peppers in there. They're just not ready yet. But that will be fun to see those come. So here's another bell pepper of sort. Keep it simple. What do we have over here? This is, okay, so that's another bell pepper. It's a Jupiter bell pepper. I don't see many on that one. And then this one, these ones are different. I've never grown these, but these are a sweet pepper. They're big and they're like elongated. And it is called Sweet Ajarcio. I bought this from a woman in town that was just selling plants on the side of the road. Bought this from her, so I'm unfamiliar with anything about this pepper. I just know that it is a sweet pepper, and I have tasted it, but it was a bit unripe, and so it didn't really have a ton of flavor. It just tasted like an unripe bell pepper. But I make salsa. Oh, hi, baby. Hi. Look at you. Spider-Man drop her off. Good job. Oh. Oh my gosh. All right, well, we have guests here. And here's my little garden friend. She just woke up from her nap. So yes, Mom, I did say chocolate pepper, but it is not actually chocolate. I think it's just referring to the color. I think it ripens to like a brownish. But a chocolate pepper, that'd be interesting, huh? But yeah, so she just woke up. So we're going to see how well she does. Sometimes she wakes up a little cranky, but she is happy currently. So we'll see. We're just gonna keep rolling with this. I don't know what I was saying here, except for the fact that these are peppers. So there's peppers. I make a lot of salsa, and I like to chop up peppers and store them like in the freezer. I do like to add them to things. I've not been super great about remembering that I have chopped peppers, but I'm gonna get better about that. So there's those. Over here, we have cucumbers. So these are a pickling cucumber. Who's this? I can't see. Pathways Homestead. Hello, welcome in. These are a pickling cucumber. I don't recall if these are, what variety of pickling cuke? I don't remember. They're a pickling cuke. They might be Boston. They might be a Chicago pickling cuke. Actually, you know what? Now that I think of it, these are the Bostons. The one lone pickler cucumber that I put over there, that one is a Chicago pickling cuke. These are the Bostons. Heavy producers, excellent crunch for pickling. Highly recommend them. Kate has been growing these for years, and they trail amazing, like they're insane. And this in front here is a nasturtium. So this is it's actually a spicy edible flower. It's really interesting, but it is a companion plant for cucumbers. Now, Cade did say that he notices a significant difference in this box with pests in comparison to the other cucumber box that we have. And I don't have a nasturtium in that one, but I do in this one. And so he says he notices that it's way less here. But these are actually, yeah, these are spicy, so you can eat this whole thing. And this is edible, and it's so pretty, and it is definitely spicy. This little like pointy end part here actually is kind of sweet. They're kind of strange. Here, I'm gonna turn you around for just a second, and maybe I'll sample this pepper for you. Oh gosh, I'm close. Hi. So if there's anything in your garden that reminds you of somebody else, these remind me of Lydia at Sweet King's Garden, because we did a little interview video last year and she ate one of these on camera, and I will just forever associate these with Lydia. So I'll eat this for you, Lydia. If she watches the replay, I don't know, we'll see. Your hubby makes great pickles. Thanks, Mama. He does make really good pickles. I'm gonna turn you back around. Okay. All right. Whew, that's a little spicy. Woo! All right. I like spice. Those definitely have a little bit of a kick. Those probably are spicier right now too, because it's the heat of the day. That's the way spicy stuff works as well. If you pick it when it's hot out, they can often have more concentrated heat. And that is true, because I have picked them morning and like midday on the same day, and they do have a slight difference. So there's that. There's some flowers there. I'll go over there in just a moment. I'm gonna actually go back this direction. I don't know what they're doing on the swing over there. That's my kids and their friend, their neighbor friend, that is over right now. So, okay, we have a row of tomatoes. So these are a bunch of different varieties of tomatoes. I have, let's see, 2, 6, 8, 12, I have like 14 different plants here. And my mom, who's in the chat right now, she helped plant these. Hi, baby. All right, here, I'll pick you up. Hang on. I got you. I got you. Okay, don't touch the screen, okay? You don't want to turn it off. All right, holding the little one now, so we're going to try this. So, okay, so we have different varieties here. I just came in the other day and trimmed these down. So, sorry, I just made the camera go crazy. I trimmed these down because I had not been like keeping up very well with the pruning of them. And you want to make sure, I gotta set you down, love. I'll come down here though. You want to make sure that you have airflow on the bottom of your tomatoes, so that they don't get, blight or any kind of like diseases. And it just really helps encourage ripening of your fruits. So we have the, let's see, Campbell's 33 tomatoes here. These are a San Marzano. And then over here, these are Super Sue. These are like a big one. Like, look at how big this is. That's going to be gorgeous. And the bottom, like, there's no cracking on the bottom here. Let's see if I can, without breaking it off. It's just a gorgeous tomato. I want to make a caprese salad with these buggers. Oh my gosh, that looks gorgeous. So every time I've ever grown big tomatoes like this, they crack and split because my watering is so inconsistent. But I think we've been better this year, even though the weather has been dry. I think overall we're just getting better and better each year. It's always a learning curve. So, yep, so we have those. Ignore the, the foliage and the weeds that are cut down over here. Roma tomatoes. One of the Romas on the back side is actually from my dad's house. His fiance gave one of those to me, and so I kind of just added that in the mix. Let's see here. I think those are all Romas on the end there. So that's what I would have in my garden salad ingredients. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, especially if you have like your own lettuce too. Lettuce, tomatoes, cucumbers. I mean, that right there, that's the ticket. So there's our tomatoes. Most of these are a determinate variety, and so they will all just kind of set their fruit and ripen like at the same time. Whereas the cherry tomatoes that were volunteers up there, those are indeterminate and they'll just continually provide. I did take some of those cherry tomatoes from up there and I put them over here, and I'll show you that in a moment. This is a mess. Okay, so we have a couple random sunflowers over here. So we have one here and one here. I don't recall what variety I planted here. I think they're the Lemon Queen. Those are really great cut flower varieties, and so I wanted to do something that was versatile. And they do, I mean, the pollinators love sunflowers, so it's always great if you're even not going to use them, just have them in your garden because the pollinators love them. First time ever growing onions. These are a whole row of onions here, and I'm really excited about this. I've always grown like green onions or chives, but never like a bulb onion. And it's already looking, I mean, I can tell a bulb's happening in there. And I think you just wait until these start to die off, and then, yeah, then they'll be ready to harvest. I don't know when that happens, but we're just gonna go, you know, play it by ear. So there's that. This is a volunteer. Well, not this. That's a weed. Actually, that's a type of wheat, I think. We mulch with hay, and so sometimes we get hay seeds. So this might be a wheat of some sort. It looks like a wheat. That's probably a wheat of some sort that planted itself in here. But this is a zucchini, a volunteer zucchini. We don't need any more zucchini, but I let it live. I did already pull one, and I let it sit down there. It's okay, baby. I got you. Oh, I got you. All right. Little girl's getting a little clingy. Hang on. Let me move you to the other side. Hang on. All right. Oh my gosh, this is so funny. Please be mindful when I'll be grazing in the pasture. Oh, this is great. So this is another of those nasturtiums. So this is a trailing nasturtium. This thing is huge. It is literally trailing down here. I mean, it's trailing down the other side. It's intertwining itself like in these tomatoes in here. And again, it's spicy and edible and a good bug deterrent. This one's looking a little straggly and sad, but it is, for the most part, been very happy. There is a basil mixed in there that's gone to flower. Same with this basil right here has gone to flower. And I let it go to flower because the pollinators love it. I can use that as greenery in cut flowers if I want. Obviously, I can still use a basil that is bolted, but it does have a little bit of a different flavor. It's a little more, sometimes bitter, but it could be just a little more floral. Just has a different flavor profile. So, all right, so coming down here. Over here on the other side of that, I'm actually gonna go over here. This is a muncher cucumber. We do have some like powdery mildew happening at the base here. I didn't think this was gonna survive. It was like, I don't even know how to describe it. The stem, it's okay. The stem was like really dehydrated, and I didn't think it was gonna do anything. And then all of a sudden it started trailing, and now it has cucumbers on it. I might have to pass little lady off. Hang on one second. Are we gonna have to pass you off? Because that might be better. It's kind of hard to do this when I'm holding her. What do you think? Can you see me? Can you say hi? Do you want to go with River and Jewel? Yeah? Hang on one second. I might have to pass her off. Hey, what are you guys doing?
Therefore, and then doing laser beams, which is a game where we take the hose and we go on the trampoline and try to dodge the water.
Oh, okay. Okay, so you're busy. They're busy. Can you bring me a snack for Aspen?
Yes.
Thank you. We'll just anything yummy. Maybe like a popsicle or something. Keep her happy.
Do you have a popsicle now?
Sure. Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna keep her happy, and hopefully that'll help. Usually after her nap, she just likes to have some snuggles. So we'll see. What does this say? Hello, Aspen. Mommy only has so many arms. That's true. That's true. And she likes to snuggle after her nap. So we'll see how this goes. Yeah, she'll warm up a little bit. She loves being in the garden. So the garden's not the issue. It's just waking up from a nap. So, Okay, so probably not gonna use my hands as much, so maybe I'll just stay on the camera here and see if I can show you. Come over here. So just like the muncher that was there, I planted some new munchers over here. Yeah, that's not gonna hurt. Turn you around. All right. Okay, so I planted some new munchers over here and here. We love muncher cucumbers. Juniper and aspen both love cucumbers, and these are a really great variety. And so they trail, and they just produce a lot. And so these are really great. We'll probably have way more than we need, but that'll be just fine. That is the tomato plant in that bucket. I just put it in there, which is why it looks so sad. It's actually a very healthy plant. It just looks sad at the moment because it just got in the heat of the day, just got moved there. So it will be just fine shortly. And that is there was a volunteer zucchini that was over by that one. And I just ripped it out because we just don't need it. It was overcrowded. This is kind of wild in here. And it just continued to grow. There's like one zucchini on it. It continued to grow after I pulled it, which is really bizarre. Okay, so we're gonna go back down here to these cut flowers over here. Now this bed has not been weeded, so it's a bit heavy in the weeds. But we have some cut flowers here. Which side do I want to go on? Just do your best for understanding. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. So we have zinnias here. Varieties. I know that this little green one down here is an envy zinnia. I don't recall what these ones were, but they're so pretty. They are. Here, let me hold you differently. So they're super pretty. They're really like vibrant pink. And the zinnia test, if you want to cut them, like you want to make sure that the stem doesn't have like a floppiness to it. When they're really nice and sturdy, they will have a really nice vase life for you when you cut them. And then we have, these are like they're like a striped, I think they're called like peppermint mint variety. They're not actually minty, it's just because they're striped. I'll see if I can get a close one for you. You see that? They have like stripes on them like a peppermint. They're really quite neat. These ones are a little bit on their way out. These have already been on the plant for a little bit. So I'm going to come through and cut these off and encourage the other ones to start to, form and bust open. Like this little guy here. That one will open within the week. So I have some, I'll hold you baby, I got you. We have some snapdragons here. I grew these for cut flowers. They're not very tall. They're gorgeous. I mean, if I can bend down here with her on me. They're really pretty, but they're just not tall. They don't have, I don't know if it's my first year growing, because my first year growing them, or what the scoop is here. Okay, I'm gonna set you down, Lovey. Okay, I'll set you down. We'll get some garden snacks soon, okay? But they're just, yeah, the stem is just not very tall. And so I could use them in like small arrangements, but for like a tall market bouquet, this is not doing anything. These, again, ignore the weeds in here. This is one of the worst beds for weeds. This right here, this is actually also a snapdragon, but I bought these at, I think it was like Walmart. I did not know that there was a dwarf variety. So these don't really do anything. They do bloom, but they don't grow tall at all. They're just a very short variety. So there's 1, 2, 3 there. This is the same color as those when it opens. I don't love that yellow. It's very neon. It's not my favorite. I like more of a pastel when it comes to yellow, or like a golden. And that one's like neon. They're not really my favorite. I probably won't grow too much of those, to be honest with you. This one is stunning, but again, short on the stem. So, and then we have some different basils here. We have a dark opal basil, and then we have a cinnamon basil, which is right next to it, right here. So the dark opal has like really dark foliage, and the cinnamon basil has, that's a clover in there, has like the green foliage, and these smell amazing. Obviously great for, eating or, you know, adding to things, but I grew them for the flower so that I could use them in some cut flower arrangements. They're not overly tall, but they do still work. She's looking for garden snacks, so I gotta go find her real quick. Hang on. Aspen! Where'd you go? Aspen! She's speedy. She's speedy. Where'd you go? She's so funny. Where are you, silly girl? I bet she's looking for raspberries over here. Oh, there she is. I knew she'd be looking for something. She's looking for the hole. This is fully fenced in, so she can't get out. So, there is a hole here. And there was a critter in there at one point, but there's not a critter in there anymore. There was another side. Here, hang on. She's just gonna put rocks in there. That it came out of. Here. Right there. I don't know what it was. Kate said he saw it. I don't know if it was a gopher or what. Oh, here's a huge pickling cucumber that got missed. But look at how deep that is. That's insane. So I don't know what critter was in there, but it didn't really damage anything. So just don't fall down the hole. What are you putting in there? Rocks? You putting rocks in there?
Well, down.
Yeah, you put them down there.
Mom.
Yeah. Okay, are you just gonna play there? Okay. Well, usually she's over picking like the raspberries over there, or playing, and she has like a sandbox and like a pool over there, although there's no water in the pool right now. But okay, I'll go back over here. I just want to make sure I had eyes on her. And then, okay, so the basils, I did the same on this side. So that's also a dark opal in the back and a cinnamon basil here. And then these are some more dill. I had already cut some of these. They're going to seed now, if you can see. Well, this one's probably more farther gone over here. So it's kind of bent over, but this one's going to seed. It had already fully gone to seed on one of them, and I just kind of crumbled them in to see if any of them will just germinate here and we can get some more going. Those ones are pretty much done, but because I have more over there, I wasn't too worried about it. I had cut some of these off and used them as foliage. And really it's just great to have herbs intermingled in with all your other stuff. Oh yeah, I didn't mention this. This is that red garnet amaranth, and this is what it looks like when it's bloomed. It's really interesting. It's called a spike when it comes to like cut flower stuff, and it is really cool. I don't even know how to describe it. Like this is like a grain. You can like harvest this and eat it. I don't know how to do that. I just use it as cut flowers, but it's really cool looking. All right, I'm gonna go back over here. Oh, thank you. Did you open it for her? Thank you. I know there's 2 regular chickens in there. Well, because they snuck in when Daddy moved the tractor. So our chicken tractor over there, when we move it, it lifts up a little bit in the back, and a normal chicken snuck in there. There was 2, but one of them must have came out somehow. But yeah, so it's in there, and it did it to itself. So you snooze, you lose, buddy. All right, so, oh, what is this? Something went wrong. Tap to try again. I'm scared to tap it. Am I still live? I'm still going, right? I think I'm still going. Maybe just let me know below if I'm still going. I think I am. I think we're good. I don't know why it said tap to retry. But yeah, she's got a little snack now, so hopefully that'll keep her entertained. Okay, in the center here, so this is kind of a center in-ground area. And at the beginning of this video, I mentioned how I have a problem with planting things not only too close together, but I have an issue here because we could definitely have some cross-pollination. I have too many different varieties in the same family here. So I was kind of banking on the fact that they would flower at different times and we wouldn't have an issue with pollination. I'm not sure. What I'll probably end up doing is I think the fruits will be fine. I will probably just not harvest seeds from these plants this year to prevent, to make sure that we get a true variety from, the seeds that we're doing. So these are zucchini. So we have 2 zucchinis here, and there is some that are probably ready to be harvested in here. These are some massive ones that I pulled out. This one I pulled out yesterday. I mean, here, I'll put my foot next to it. Here, I'll put my bare foot next to it. That's the size of that one. So that's like, I mean, that thing's huge. We don't use that. That'll go to the chickens. We'll just toss that over the fence here. But we have some beauties that are on here right now. Like those 2 are really great size. So, gosh, these are so pokey. Let's see if I can quickly get one off for you. It's nice and little. And I can get it without snapping. Let's see. Usually I'll use like, oh, I did it. Shoot. Usually you don't want to snap off that top because it'll last longer on your counter. But this is a really great size. It'll be nice and, it won't be really seedy. It'll just be really a great one for, if you want to roast it or, slice it up and do like a fresh salad. What's really yummy is taking a zucchini, slicing it really thin into like coins, and then you just drizzle like fresh squeezed lime or lemon juice on it, and then top it with fresh Parmesan cheese and like a little bit of like maybe pepper, since Parmesan is salty already. And it is seriously such a great little simple summer salad. Really easy. So that's a really beautiful one right there. So, okay, now we'll go. Oh my gosh, did you finish that already? Did you eat the whole thing? Was that yummy?
Probably.
Yeah, I think you got it all, Abby. I think you got it all. There's a little bit of juice left in there. Here. It's okay. Here. Well, hold on. I'll set this down over here for now. I'll set that right here for now. Do you want a garden snack? Do you want a pea? Here, come on. We'll get one. I'm going to grab her a pea real quick. It's okay. We're just going to grab one. Here, Lovey. No? You're going to turn down my garden snacks? Do you want one? Fine. I'll eat it. All right. Moving on. Okay, what is this? Oh, I'm over in the next pasture? This is funny. It's okay, love. Are you sad because I eat your pea? Oh no. I got you. I got you. Oh, honey. It's okay. We're going to show the people the garden. Yeah. Ready? Okay. Here we go. All right. Now that I'm done chewing, hope that wasn't too loud for you guys. Okay, so we have the zucchini there, and then next to it we have acorn squash. It's only one, and it was an experiment because I had a client bring me an acorn squash once last year, and I just wanted to harvest the seeds and see if it would work, and it did. That was one of the seeds. So I've never grown those before. I don't even really use them very much, but one of them is trailing up the edge of this trellis here. So they will get a little heavy. I think they'll be strong enough to kind of hang off by themselves. But if they need a little support, I'll just kind of put a little something under them to support them up. We have 2 random sunflowers here. I don't remember what variety of those are. I'm like out of breath. I think it's from talking really fast. Let me take a deep breath for a second. Okay. And it's really hot out here. So in here, we have some loofah gourds. Now, I started loofah gourds inside. They looked gorgeous. They were really, really healthy. And then as soon as I moved them outside, they got really sad. So I'm going to go on the other side of this trellis and show you on the inside here. But these loofah gourds are really cool because they will trail up this trellis, and they are already, you can see, they're starting to really, I do have to guide them up here a little bit, but they are trailing up, and at some point, probably this fall, when they really start to fill in, I mean, just the fruits are so little right now, which They might not even mature, to be honest with you. Right now they should actually they should already have a full fruit on them, but they don't. And in order to harvest the loofah gourds, to have the loofah itself, you need them to fully dry. And I just don't think we're going to get there this year. But that's okay. It's an experiment. I can always try again next year. But they will essentially come over this entire trellis and they'll be like gourds hanging. It'll be pretty cool. So I will definitely show that, whether with another garden tour later this fall or even just some photos. If those actually do that, I will definitely show it because it'll be really cool looking. These tomatoes right here are some of those cherry tomatoes that I transplanted. These were the volunteers from over there. I put them in here because they're a different family, you know, than the squash, and so they'll be fine. There won't be an issue with pollination. I just needed to fill in some space here on where some of the loofah gourds just died out, and there was some vacant space. I didn't have to put anything there. Obviously, everything's really tight over there already, but it was a good spot to be able to utilize for these tomatoes. So we do have some of those that are probably close to ripening in there. Let's see if I can do this while holding her. I'm still holding her now. You can see there's a couple. So those will start to ripen here in the next week, maybe 2 weeks. Those will be ready for sure. So, and this one coming down the center here, this is one of 3 butternut squash plants. Can I set you down, love? Can I set you down? It's okay, I'm right here. This is one of 3 butternut squash. So around the corner here is literally just 3 butternut squashes. And I have them coming down the center here. And then they're on the other side of this trellis, just kind of like down. Yeah, they're trailing like crazy. And there is a ton of butternut squash on there. It is pretty insane how productive those are. I don't know why I planted 3. We really don't need that many. But yeah. Sorry, it's all over the place right now because I'm trying to hold her at the same time. Let me see, what do you... Zucchini bread, yes, yum, all the time, although I have not baked any yet this summer. Kate was wondering where those were. Let's see, are those squash sweet tasting? The loofah gourds or the butternut? Which ones? Yeah, butternut squash soup for sure. If you were asking about the loofah gourds, I have not eaten a loofah gourd, but if you eat them young, they are supposed to taste like zucchini. They're really like mild tasting. As they age, they really start to have a weird texture and not, yeah, the loofah. They really start to have a weird texture and not a great flavor. And so if you harvest them young, like a summer squash, they should be, you know, pretty versatile. If you leave them on there longer, just let them get to a loofah is what I've heard. So that's kind of the plan. I probably won't harvest any for eating this year. I'll just see if they can, you know, get to loofah stage. That's kind of my plan. So, all right, we're gonna go on the other side. We have, so right here, at some point in the center of this trellis, like this will be like nicely mulched. Right now we just have some plastic down to prevent the weeds from coming up. And yeah, let's see, we'll go over here. All right, I gotta adjust you. Oh, okay. These, so this whole thing is all that butternut squash. The 3 butternut squash. This is a sea of butternut squash. It's insane. This is 3 plants. 3. And it is this entire section. I'm gonna come on this end and see if I can show you that whole thing. Do you see this? Everything in the foreground of the screen right now, that's all butternut squash. 3 plants. It's insane. Do not need that many. If you need butternut squash, stop over in Hinkley. Okay. This, it's really sad right now. It needed to be watered today, but I didn't get to it. This is watermelon. The leaves are definitely a little curly right now. Like I said, it needed water. I'm gonna set you down for a second, okay? It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Let's go get some raspberries in just a second. But here, we have a couple of these gorgeous watermelons on here. Oh my gosh. These, I'm so excited. Last year we grew some watermelon and it did It did pretty well. It didn't have the greatest texture, but I did make some watermelon jelly and some watermelon rind preserves. And the watermelon jelly turned out really good. The preserves turned out great. It wasn't my favorite flavor profile. But if you can get really creative with, you know, this stuff, especially if it's not like optimal for eating, if you can utilize it for whether you have, you know, animals, chickens, you know, outdoor eagle, you know, I'll feed it to you. So definitely I'm excited to see if I can do a better job with the, you know, texture and everything of the watermelons this year. The fact that it's not watered right now is probably not a great sign, but that's okay. We'll see. We'll come back to that. Here we have a melon. This is a cantaloupe and maybe a rock melon. Too close together. Those are way too similar to have this close together. We're probably going to have some crazy cross-pollination happening there, but we'll see. None of the fruits have actually really started yet, except for actually now that I see we have a little one starting here. Because when I've grown these on the ground, the pests just dominate them and we just never even get to eat them. They end up being chicken food, which is, you know, not bad for the chickens. You definitely save money. But if you're growing something, you do want to at least try it. And so last year we did get a couple that we got to eat. This year I wanted to see if I can get them to go up and if we need to support them with one of these little mesh, you know, slings, just so that they don't fall off the vine before ripening. I think that would be a really great option to actually have a successful like cantaloupe harvest. So that's my experiment here. On this side of the trellis. Now, I don't have anything here. Just didn't get to that this year, which is fine. We'll get to it another time. But, you know, the loofah gourds might come over there anyways. So it's probably best I don't have another thing happening on the same trellis. It's okay. What are they doing? They're having a battle. They're having a Nerf battle. Yeah. Yeah. It's okay. Oh my gosh. Oh, I got you. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I'm going to turn this a little bit. We're going to hold it a little differently. We're getting through, guys. Our garden is huge. So if you're still here, seriously, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. If you're watching the replay and you're still here, I really appreciate you. This is going to be a long one, but we're getting there. We are over halfway done. Well over halfway done. I just have a few more things to show you. And yeah, so here we have potatoes. This is a big potato bed. My husband loves potatoes. So potatoes, everything. They're getting close to harvesting some of them. We have some of the, you know, once they start to kind of dry up a little bit, you can definitely tell that they are getting close to being able to harvest. So we definitely hope we don't see any, because you don't want them to be sticking out of the ground. You don't want them to be exposed to the sunlight, or they'll get that like greenish to them, and supposedly that is toxic. So don't eat green potatoes. This is a zucchini. Did not plant. I can set you down. It's okay. I can set you down. But they're not going to come get you. They're busy. They're not going to come get you. You stay with me. They're busy. They're having a battle. It's okay. Sorry. This is a volunteer zucchini. Same with that one. Don't even know if they should be growing in potatoes or near potatoes, but we let them just do their thing. They're volunteers, and anytime there's a volunteer, I don't know, I encourage that. If it has a will to live, I feel like I just want to let it live, you know? She's really not happy. It's okay. It's okay, Nuppy. It's okay. We're going to get through this together. We can do it. We can do it, guys. Okay. Okay. Now, this used to be blueberries. We're just going to ignore that, because there's one there, but you know, there's not really much to see there. It's just weeds. More cucumbers. So these are more of the pickling cucumbers. I believe this was also the Boston variety. It's been producing like crazy. It is very wilty and sad right now. Again, this area here, I did not get to water yet today. And so that is what I'll be doing after this garden tour is over, is getting these guys some love. But it is really a very productive plant. Well, there's like 5 plants in here. So, but it's been really great, even though it looks a little sad at the moment. This is depressing. This is strawberries. Last year, this was insane with strawberries. I ruined it. Cade told me at the end of the season to mulch it so that, you know, it'd be protected. Well, I heavily mulched it. And, oops, I'm gonna set you down. Are you coming to save me? Oh my gosh, thank you. Thanks, hubby. He saved me so I can finish my garden tour. I didn't even think he was watching. What's that? What? No way. So the strawberries here, I over mulched them and I put a ladder on the mulch. I don't know why. I wasn't thinking. And I definitely killed them off. So there's three little remainders, and they didn't even really throw out runners very well this year. They have in the past. You know, I mean, we have some dried up runners here, but for the most part, we're gonna have to start fresh here, which is really unfortunate because it was really full and really, really well done. My husband did a great job, and I ruined it, unfortunately. So there's that. Over here, we have a little bit more cut flowers. We have dahlias. So these are going to be phenomenal. So I've never grown dahlias. They start as a tuber. Well, I'm sure you can do, obviously you can do seeds too. I'm not familiar with growing dahlias from seed. It's probably really hard. These are tubers that I bought. I'm pretty sure I got them at Lowe's. They are not busted open yet, but you can get a little sneak peek of what color that might be there. I'm so excited. They're going to be so pretty. If you've never seen a dahlia, look it up. So pretty. Over here we had a different variety of dahlia, which I don't even know if that's, I mean, this is what it looked like when I put it in too. It's called an unwind dahlia. Had 2 of them. One of them died, and that one didn't do anything. It's still just there. It wasn't a tuber. It was just a start that I had bought from that woman in town, and that's, I don't know why. It just didn't do anything. But the tubers, now, these are looking great. This one's a little shorter. Definitely a lot shorter, actually. Not sure if that one will end up flowering or not, but these ones are going to be great. A couple glads here, gladiolas. These ones already have their buds on them, so these are going to flower probably so soon, and I'm so excited. Gladiolas are so gorgeous, and they're really nice and tall. And it's fun because they will start to open from the bottom. So the flowers will start open here, and then they'll continue to go up. And so as these ones are spent, you just remove the bottom blooms and the tops will continue to open. And so you have a very long vase life when it comes to gladiolas. So yeah, super, super pretty. So what else we got? Okay, we did the potatoes. Over here's our raspberries. These are extreme heavy producers this year. I did make some jam. I made a video. Maybe you have or haven't seen that, but it was my first time making raspberry jam, and it turned out amazing. It was so good. I've made probably a total of maybe 14 half pints and like 3 or 4 pints. And we've already gone through a ton and given some away, but don't worry, Mom, you're still gonna get some. So these are basically on their way out. They're, you know, pretty dunskies here. They're kind of wilting away. There is a few still on here, so I can just show you how gorgeous these berries are. Let's see if I can grab these. Oh, grabbed other stuff with it. So there's some beautiful little berries. Yep, super. These are so incredibly flavorful. I was really impressed with the production of these plants. This is about probably like 9 or 10 plants. And I'm gonna eat those raspberries. They have traveled, because they travel underground. And so there's a whole nother patch starting here. If this is not original, that's the original patch. They've traveled out here. So we're gonna have a whole nother section next year that will provide fruit as well. So we need to come in here and just really kind of, you know, mulch out down the grass around this and just kind of make this a nice large patch and see if we can just continually grow that and see, you know, what the production is each year. We've been pretty good. The kids have been awesome about harvesting berries this year for us, so that, you know, the more you harvest, the more it can produce, and the more that it tries to, you know, set fruit, set seed. And so keeping up with that is super essential to having nice, large, productive plants. Rhubarb was here. Obviously that's way done with. I clipped it way down. Rhubarb is extremely resilient, and so that has never had a problem coming back. So I'll see that again next year. Empty boxes here that have never fully been filled. We have a couple of those up front too. So in the future, we will continue to fill the boxes that are not done and continually grow, you know, additional fruits, and probably put strawberries, more strawberries maybe over here. I think Kate wants to move the strawberries from over there to somewhere over here. So maybe that could be one of these. I'm not sure yet. That's a weed garden. Those are all weeds. Yep, this is a completely filled box that I filled ready for blueberries and mulched it. And this is what happened because the rest of everything else took our time. So there it is, the weed garden. Okay, so we are very close to the end here. I'm just going to show you from afar. We have 2 pear trees here. These have not produced any fruit yet, but they are getting very tall, which is great because we don't have a ton of trees on this property at all. And so coverage is really not super great when it comes to, like, I mean, if you see our garden here, completely open, no coverage of shade at all. We have a couple, you know, aspen trees over here. I think those are aspen trees. Maybe there's something else. We do have a lot of aspen trees on the property. I don't recall what these 2 are though. But those don't cast any shade because they're on the north side. So those don't do anything for the garden. Well, maybe a little shade over here. And then we have this over here. I believe, is that birch or is that aspen? Gosh, I'm terrible about trees. This one, it also doesn't really cast shade, except for in the morning, it'll cast a little bit of shade, but nothing really. I mean, so we could really benefit from just a little bit more coverage on this property in general. So adding fruits and like fruit trees and just different things like that will just really fill it in over time. So we have a couple apple trees up there. So that's our little bench area here. Apple trees, which are producing, which is so fun. You can see a couple apples there. These 2, they might be done. They might be dead. They didn't do anything. There's still some foliage on the bottom that is trying to come out, which shows that it does have some life, but the tree trunk itself is not doing anything. So I'm not sure if we'll leave those or replace those or what we'll be doing there. But then we have 2 more apples down there. I don't recall the varieties. I know we have a couple Honeycrisp. We have a couple, like, I think these are dwarfs. I think those ones up there are standard. So yeah, we'll see. Over here we have a bunch of sunflowers. So earlier, one of you had asked if we grow anything for the chickens or for the animals. This is one in particular that we grow for them. So we have mammoth sunflowers in here and black, I think it's black oil sunflower. They're so tall, like that is huge. It is so tall, that one in particular. So we have a big patch of those. Cade planted these. I don't remember which is which, but those will be great. We'll harvest those for, you know, chickens, and then we'll reseed. We'll save some seeds for next year. So, oh yay, okay, it's in here. That's awesome. Yeah, cucumbers often curl from inconsistent watering. Yes, they do. And then and Kate also did like intercropping here, which is really a creative way to try to utilize your space. So this is pumpkins. So we have a sugar pumpkin up here, and then over there we have like just a big, I don't even know what this is called, but it's stinking massive. Look at the size of this thing. It is insane. Like here's my hand on it, so you can see how big it is. I can't even hold it far enough away to show you. It's really big. And there's a couple of those in here. And so, but as these trail that direction, you know, they kind of just go in between the sunflowers. And we didn't really, this area has been really difficult for us to keep up on with weeds because the weeds are just, they're insane. So it's been really hard to keep them down. But the nice thing about intercropping like this is as these large leafed plants trail in there, they'll start to mulch down a little bit and hopefully just, you know, that's what intercropping is. I think my whole hand is in front of the screen. Sorry about that. That's as we intercrop like that, the plants benefit each other by the way they grow, which is why people will plant like beans and like a trailing bean, like a pole bean next to like sunflowers, because you can use the sunflower as the trellis for the pole bean. And we didn't do that this year, but definitely something we could do in the future. Over here, we have one sunflower. This was a volunteer, and it busted open the other day, and the bugs have already gotten to it, but it is a big one. It's like the size of my hand. I'm not sure what kind that is, but it's so pretty. I love sunflowers. They're just so neat. We have a little strawberry bed run down over here. A little strawberry there. A couple lone strawberry plants that are healthy. We'll definitely move those with the other ones, and I won't kill them this year. It was just weeds now, and this might be like a wild geranium or something. I left it because I recognize those leaves. Pretty sure that's a wild geranium. I didn't plant it here. It just is here. And I just left it. I did originally plant some poppies here. None of them germinated, and so it's nothing now. Here we have some more sunflowers, but these are a cut flower variety. So these right here they're extremely short right now, and so I don't know how tall they're going to get. I mean, they are already setting their blooms, and they're not very tall, unfortunately. So I don't know if that's something that I did. I mean, it definitely see the pest pressure here. These are the teddy bear sunflower. I know they're not supposed to be that short, but I don't know. I'll have to look up some information on that. Those are really cool looking if you've ever looked those up too. The teddy bear sunflower are not traditional when it comes to sunflowers. They have like just a little more of a wild look to them, and really neat as a cut flower. These are the lemon queen variety, which will provide lots of little side shoots, and so there'll be lots of blooms. Rather than just one sunflower, it'll produce lots of heads. So there's just 6 of those here, and here's a chicken trying to get in. Get out of here. This is another dwarf tomato. This one I did heavily prune. It wasn't doing much on the bottom, so I just pruned off a bunch. And it is setting some fruit up here. I've actually taken one of these recently and sliced it up, and it was really quite tasty. So it was really good. And then some more basil here. This was actually really shading this basil, and this was really yellow last week, and it looks really great today. So I'm recouping that one. That also has the mulch, the wool mulch in the bottom there. And again, that really helps hold in moisture and provide a slow release of nitrogen. So that is overrun with weeds, but that is actually usually German chamomile. It was earlier this season. And gosh, what did I miss? We have cherry trees here. Those are past bloom. Those were delicious. Provided a decent amount of cherries this year. And then this is my harvest table, which I don't have filled right now, but you've probably maybe seen a video or a short that I did with this. It's amazing. I love this thing. I'll move my harvest basket there. But I made it myself. I'm pretty proud of that. But so a harvest table here is like a drying area if you want to dry, onions or garlic or anything that you have from the sink that you want to put in there. I just fill this sink up with cold hose water, plug it, and so anything you need to put in for like an ice bath, like right away to stop, to give it that cold shock, like cucumbers are a great one I put in here. You don't have to go all the way to the house and they won't get all wilty. Just put them right in there and it really saves time and a trip and dirt in your house. On this side is just like another like kind of drying area, I guess, or just like kind of a utility counter. We use it for lots of things. The plants out up here were really sad. This is a delphinium, no, larkspur. Well, I think that's the same thing. Delphinium, larkspur, I think those are the same. I bought this on sale. This was on sale at Lowe's. So I didn't get it in the ground yet this year, but next year. And this is like a really beautiful blue flower. It is a great cut flower, but it is actually poisonous in certain stages. So, but it's really pretty. I don't know if you can see on the tag there. Really cool. This was more German chamomile. Some of them are coming back a little bit. It's a little dried and crispy now. I did harvest some of this earlier this season. This was a mixed variety, but if I'm not out here all the time, these pots just dry out so fast and just are not happy. And that's okay. It's just the season of life we're in. I do, at some point, this area right behind my harvest table, this will be like a perennial flower area. Right now I just have, this is Prairie Sun Rudbeckia, which was a heavy pest pressure on this year. This is my first time growing it, so these ones are kind of funky. We had some, I'm going to cut these off and just kind of really clean up this plant and hopefully get some healthier blooms coming in. These are English daisies. I thought they'd be bigger. They looked, on the package, it looked like they said that it was great for a cut flower. Well, we have some dandelion leaves in there, obviously that's not part of it, but they are little, they're very little, so that is not a cut flower, but I mean they're cute. Maybe second year they get big. I guess we'll see, and we'll go from there. So I'm going to turn this around and see. It says something went wrong again. I don't know what that means, but so hopefully everything, my voice came through. Hopefully you could hear everything really well. For the most part, I mean, I think I showed you everything, if not almost everything, in our garden right now. And so as the season goes on and things continue to fill out, I can update whether it's with another video or even just photos. I often will post photos on Instagram of like what's currently in bloom or anything new that we're like harvesting, which is kind of fun to see. So if you're on Instagram, definitely check that out. So, oh, thanks so much, Mama. And I'll have to look at some of these comments later. Yay. Thanks so much for being here, Mom. This is my first live chat. Yeah, well, this is my first live video, so way to be here for me, Mom. Thank you. So yeah, so that's all I have to say about that. There is our 2023 garden, and yeah, thanks so much for hanging out with me. I really appreciate you, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a wonderful, blessed day.